Long ago in Japan, a boy wandered from his house into the woods. As the sun sank among the mountains, his family began looking for him. They continued into the night and the following days, until the front door swung open and their child ran in. They embraced him and through their tears asked why he was gone for so long. The boy's brow furrowed. He was only gone for a few minutes and met a friend who was a human bird. The human bird was the winged demon Tengu. And this is Legends from the Pacific. Aloha, and thank you for joining us. This is Legends from the Pacific, episode 135, The Demon Who Cursed Japan, Tengu. I am Kamuela Kaneshiro, a native Hawaiian professional writer, speaker, and Comic-Con panelist with extensive film and television experience. I study mythology, I've encountered unusual things, and I'm a geek.
In the beginning, there was the Pacific Ocean. A canoe broke the horizon, piloted by Pele, a beautiful Polynesian maiden who dominated the waves until she felt safe to stop.
The audiobook of our Legends from the Pacific Book 1 is now available. Narrated by multi-award-winning voice actress Emily Wu Zeller. Emily has worked on anime, the video game Cyberpunk 2077, and over 500 audiobooks, including Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, From a Certain Point of View. Just click the link in our show notes to purchase our audiobook and enjoy Emily telling our stories today. Later in this episode, your featured song in Hawaiian word, but first, let me share with you Japan's Winged Demon. As usual, I apologize for any mispronounced names or words and appreciate your understanding. The earliest Tengu was recorded around 720 Common Era, when a massive shooting star or comet streaked across the heavens. A monk was credited with calling the occurrence Amatsu Kitsune, or Heavenly Dog, whose bark was like thunder. While Amatsu Kitsune doesn't sound like Tengu, the monk may have been influenced by China's heavenly dog, Tiangao. Another potential influence was the demigod Guradu, who was an anthropomorphic bird from Hinduism and Buddhism. Eventually, Tengu resurfaced in Japanese records as an anthropomorphic bird called Karasu Tengu, or Crow Tengu. It should be noted, while Tengu are believed to have multiple species or variations, the two primary ones are this anthropomorphic bird, Karasu Tengu, or the more human-looking ones called Dai Tengu. All Tengus have wings and wear priest-like Yamabushi robes. Yamabushi are a type of shamanistic mountain monks, whose belief blends aspects of multiple religions. In addition to robes, Tengu wear the Yamabushi's small hat and sandals, which only have one middle stilt or tooth. I'll get more into the Dai Tengu later, but let's return to the Karasu Tengu. They were considered demonic creatures or yokai, who were the reincarnation of corrupted priests or monks. Adding to the Karasu Tengu's evil aspect was their non-Buddhist attire, so Buddhists could have been warning others that the Karasu Tengu were following a slanderous form of Buddhism. Tengu were also constantly trying to sway monks from the path of enlightenment. One account stated a Tengu possessed a woman to tempt a monk, but it didn't work, and the monk freed the woman from the Tengu. Karasu Tengu eventually caused trouble for regular people, and as mentioned in our opening story, they were entities who spirited away people, but mainly children. Interestingly enough, many Japanese entities did this, and while some victims only experienced missing time, most developed psychological issues. Then for a while, most bad incidents were called Tengu. But in the 1600s or the Edo period, Tengu were depicted more humanoid with red skin and a long nose. These were the Dai Tengu. Dai Tengu were unmatched swordsmen who always carried a blade. But possibly from centuries of Yamabushi, their mystic knowledge allowed them to do many things, including appear fully human. This elevated them to almost deity status, and all Tengu, especially Dai Tengu, are considered protectors of nature. The specific type of nature, like forest or mountain, varies since there are many Tengu clans containing thousands of members. Also, there's an interesting theory that Karasu Tengu become Dai Tengu once they've reached a certain age or level of knowledge. That being said, if you're in Japan at night and hear tree branches rustling or a tree falls but there's no wind, it could be Tengu making a nest or building a path. Witnesses who walked in the woods or on mountain trails heard people laughing but couldn't isolate where they were, believed Tengu were near. Others who felt the earth tremble, experienced stones being thrown at them, or a sudden gust of wind, believed they wandered into the land of Tengu. That being said, people claimed to have enlisted the help of Tengu and offered them food, usually a type of fish, for one day's worth of work. In the 1100s, Emperor Sutoku ruled Japan. However, his grandfather manipulated things, so Sutoku lost the throne. After his grandfather's death, Sutoku's return to the throne was stopped by Sutoku's brother. The brothers marshaled their forces and sparked the Hogen Rebellion. But Sutoku was no match. He became the first former emperor to be exiled from Kyoto in 400 years. Sutoku devoted his life to Buddhism, wrote a manuscript, and requested the emperor to send it to a Kyoto temple as an offering to those who died during the rebellion. The emperor refused. Sutoku clenched his returned manuscript. His teeth pierced his tongue. Using his blood, he swore to become a great demon and cursed Japan's emperors to fall, and they'll be replaced by the people. When Sutoku died, many believed he became a Tengu. Misfortune plagued Japan. A fire destroyed a third of the capital. People, including the emperor's supporters, died, and Sutoku's curse lurked in everyone's mind. The shogun eventually replaced the emperor. Now Japan's a democratic country with a powerless emperor. As always, a big mahalo nui loa to our Patreon members: Christopher, Meg, Jessica Bullock, Edward Pueto Henke, Felisa H., The Makuli Guy, and of course, Ren Shepard. Your support keeps our show going. If you'd like to support our show, please click the link in our show notes and become a Legends from the Pacific Patreon member to enjoy an exclusive monthly Hawaiian story, like the rare story of who the Hawaiian volcano god was before Pele, and other nifty benefits. Your rewards are waiting for you, so become a Legends from the Pacific Patreon member today. It should be noted, our story discussed the Emperor Sutoku. That's Sutoku with a T, opposed to the number puzzle game Sudoku with a D. For the record, there's no connection between the Emperor and game. Today, there are many temples throughout Japan that celebrate Tengu. Tengu are seen in many comic books, manga, anime, video games, and stories. Tengu are worshipped in certain regions, and they are featured in festivals, one of which occurs around February before the Lunar New Year, where people throw soybeans for good luck. Modern renditions have depicted female Tengu. This is kind of a big deal since women were forbidden to be Buddhist or Yamabushi monks, but now women monks are welcome. So perhaps Tengu can be women. And finally, did Sutoku's curse cause the fall of Japan's emperors? I feel yes. But as usual, I'll leave that for you to decide. If you like what you heard, please give us a rating and write a review. Our future listeners and I would greatly appreciate it. Our theme song is Mystery by Tavana, courtesy of High Sessions. Sound effects are by Sound Effects Factory. Our music coordinator is Matt Duffy, aka DJ TripleBypass. Links and show notes can be found on our website, legendsfromthepacific.com, including a link to your featured song, which is Europa by Chris Fuchigami, courtesy of High Sessions. Legends from the Pacific was written, produced, and edited by me, Kamuela Kaneshiro. I also wrote our original stories. Your featured Hawaiian word is ku'amu amu. Ku'amu amu means curse. An example of ku'amu amu is, the card game Munchkin is very fun. until you get a lot of ku'amu amu. Once again, ku'amu amu is Hawaiian for curse. Thank you once again for listening. Mahalo and a hui ho!